First thing, I peep how the racist media try to put out to the world that African Americans is dying for the coronavirus in the U.S. at an alarming rate, and they not explaining it proper, and they got a lot of people being racist around the world. Let me tell you what they're doing. Listen, in certain regions where there's only African Americans live, African Americans got high death tolls because that's where they live at. So they're just promoting those regions, and then they're trying to put out this stigma that majority of American cases are African Americans. That, my friend, is a big white lie, and they doing that so people around the world think that, oh, when it come down to America, it was only the African Americans who caught the coronavirus. That's false. Go to the website and the CDC. You're gonna see that 70% of the people that caught the coronavirus are Caucasian, or they marked down their ethnicity as um, unknown because the Jews don't put down their race. So majority of the people that's catching it in America are whites and Jews and Hispanics, and then black, and then Asian. That's how the breakdown go. Then also, when it come down to the death, now the African Americans got a high death toll, and the reason why they got a lot of high death toll because these are essential workers. They are the bus drivers, and they are the social workers, and they are the police. And in the situation that they in, they are dying because they're working on those jobs. They're not dying because of health issues. They're dying because they're being exposed to this at a high rate. So now they trying to mediarize the situation and put the blame game and put out false media. Now let me tell you how I know that this is bullshit media, because when the first 2,000 people, 3,000 people died, you didn't hear them pointing fingers at a Pacific race. When people was dying in Brooklyn at a high rate in Crown Heights, you didn't hear them saying Crown Heights and this and that. So I'm just trying to show y'all how the media is trying to paint a picture on African Americans. And then when it comes down to New York, it's a high percentage in New York, but because for the simple fact that 80% of the bus drivers and transit workers are African American. And then if you look at the death in New York City, the highest percentage goes to bus drivers and transit workers and medical workers. That's who got the high rate of deaths, for the simple fact that they're working in environments where there's hordes of people. So I don't know why they doing that. I mean, I actually know why they doing it, but that's a whole nother video. But they doing this to trick y'all, and actually it's working real good, because the same stupid people goes to social media and they promote it. Wow, look, it's killing us. No, they talking about Pacific regions where it's happening, but they're not promoting their regions because they don't want you to feel no way. They want you to feel how you feel. They want you to feel threatened. And one thing about this disease is that it's a mental killer. If you can make yourself sick by thinking you got it. You can just think you're sick, and then you can just start being paranoid and shit like that. So this is a tactic to make dudes paranoid, and it's for me, it's racism, especially done by these news people, because if you see these news companies, the way they doing it, they're not even promoting no other ethnicity but African Americans and Hispanics. They're not saying the other ethnicities, how it's affecting them. They're not telling you nothing about it. They're not telling you nothing about blood types, because that information don't support them. But don't we all supposed to be in this together? So why the hell are they doing it in this fashion? That's how I feel about this whole situation. You know what I'm saying? The media is lying. Media is lying. Just say 22,000 people died. Probably about 4,000 of them are African Americans. So how are we a high percentage of the people that died from the coronavirus? One more thing. Sometimes when people go into hospital, they not even giving them the tests. They not giving you. They give once you say you have the symptoms, they putting down COVID-19, and then at the same time, they're putting down that you've been tested like as if there was a test kit. Come on, y'all. Y'all gotta cut this shit out, B. This shit is getting corny.